Hey everybody, welcome to D-Bronx Podcast, off-season edition, episode number 1 for the 2018 off-season. We have been out of it for a little while, but I am joined. My name is Austin. I'm joined here with Kevin Etheridge. How you doing, Kevin?
Hey, doing well.
Ian, you're also with us. How you doing?
Not too bad. Can't complain. Can't complain.
Cool. Well, we can complain because our team
No, we
finished
will.
5-11. So we do have some complaining to do. We have been out of it kind of for a little while here, a couple months since we did our last podcast. We just had some weird schedules, and let's be honest, the Broncos have not been most fun to talk about recently. But we are
No.
fans nonetheless, and we're not just fair weather fans, so we are back at it to talk some off-season stuff and to kind of try and predict poorly what might happen this off-season. Lot to talk about. So let's start with first of all, Kevin, you're reporting from Pennsylvania. You know, obviously the home state of the Philadelphia Eagles, who just won a thriller Super Bowl.
Probably one of the
So
best games I've watched
that
in
was
a
just an
while.
incredible game. So
It was
so
a good
so
game.
Kevin, why don't you fill us in since you were there, you were in that area. Fill us in with just how what was it like, the atmosphere there for when they won. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because we're Broncos, but just tell us how
Yep.
the atmosphere was them winning their first Super Bowl.
Well, yes, it was quite exciting. I mean, I think most people listening to the podcast recognize the fact that the Eagles had never won a Super Bowl in
Yeah.
Right.
52 years, and people around this area, like most fans are. They sort of connect their self-esteem to how the local team is doing. So, Philadelphia has a reputation for having some angry fans. Well, listen, when your team hasn't won a Super Bowl in 52 years, you sort of get angry. There's some hostility associated with the constant losing. So,
Of
but
course.
boy, man, when they won the NFC Championship game, they obliterated the Vikings, of course. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm driving around town. Every block, there's a new tent that someone has thrown up, and they're selling Eagles merchandise, and there's cars pulling in, and they're selling it like crazy. I mean, the town really jumped behind the team in a big
I
way.
thought you were gonna. I
So
thought you were gonna say the whole block was on fire.
no, no, but so I watched the Super Bowl, and I was pulling for the Eagles, just pulling for the local team here, and
Yeah.
it was such an incredible game. I mean, I'm telling
It
you,
was.
that's all I wanted to talk about for a week solid was that football game. I still think it's the greatest Super Bowl in history. And can you believe that they had more offensive yards, 1,151 yards in a single game, more offensive yards than any NFL game ever? How
Yeah, that was
crazy is that?
ridiculous. I mean, the losing quarterback had over 500 yards passing.
Yeah.
The
By the
losing
way,
quarterback.
Tom Brady
Can,
lit
can,
it up.
can, can, can we stop even having a debate about the greatest quarterback of all time? That's got to be over at this point,
It's Tom Brady.
right?
It's Tom
I
Brady.
think so. I think we can agree on that. I think that's something that we can agree on.
Yeah,
Although
we
I think
agree.
my decision on that was made after he came back last year against the Falcons.
Yes, me too.
This guy
Yeah.
is legit. This guy is the real deal. Um, but wow, I mean, what an incredible game. I mean, for those of us who are not fans of either team, really, Broncos fans or whatever team it is that you support, that was just a good game for any football fan to watch. Because a lot of times, you're only really interested if it's your team that's in the Super Bowl. But that was a game that was good for football as a whole, in my opinion. I
Agreed.
mean,
And Nick Foles, what a story. Real quick, I just wanted to say something. So, you guys probably know about my interest in emotional intelligence
yeah,
and just
Yeah.
psychology in general. And, part of the human psyche is that we are risk adverse. and we are loss adverse generally. So loss aversion means that the typical human being is going to be far more upset if they lose $500 that they own than the happiness they may feel if they acquire $500. So the pain of the loss is exponentially greater than the joy that's associated with a win or or a
Victory.
newfound money in this
Yeah.
case. Yeah. So what struck me about the Eagles game, what really stood out was late in the first half. It's a famous play, of course. It's 4th and 1. There's maybe 2 minutes left in the first half, and the Eagles are a yard away from a touchdown, and it's 4th down. You guys know what the call was. They went for it,
Yeah.
and
Philly
they
special.
scored. And they scored on the Philly special, that trick play. Now, 90+% of coaches kick the field goal there. The reason they kick the field goal is because of this loss aversion. You have 3 points in your back pocket. You do not want to lose that. You do not want to risk losing it, so you just take the safe route. You kick the field goal. Doug Peterson, who I found out after the Super Bowl, is a strong advocate of emotional intelligence. And Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, said that he hired Doug Peterson because he recognized his emotional intelligence. Well, Peterson exercised good judgment in going for it and risking losing 3 points. But when they scored on that play, I don't know about you guys, but I felt like this was the Eagles' game.
Oh yeah, I did too.
Oh,
I
for
did
real.
too. But
Oh yeah.
Tom Brady made it hard to continue that belief in the second half.
Even though he lost his best wide receiver, right, in the first half, the guy
Oh, that
what's his name? Went out with
bonehead
Brandon
route.
Cooks.
Oh, Brandon Cooks, that bonehead route.
Cooks.
How you gonna catch the ball and then kind of look around like who's gonna clock? Oh, he got clocked. Oh, he got clocked. Well, I remember watching that and I was like, he's not coming back. That guy.
By the way,
that
you
was gone.
guys, have any of you guys watched the new? I think it's a Facebook series or it's a YouTube. It's called
Tom versus Time.
Yeah, have you seen that?
Yeah, I watched it.
I have not.
Pretty interesting.
It's really
It's
interesting.
it's a look at his life off the football field. You see him in his home and interacting with his family and with his
it's a
trainer
really good
and with
show.
his play. It's a great show. But, one thing you take away, that guy busts his tail. I mean, he's at night watching film till 2 in the morning. I mean, this guy is a junkie when it comes
Tom
to studying
Brady
film.
got Garoppolo that check that Garoppolo just signed his John Hancock on. That's Tom Brady, because Tom Brady told, when you look back at what Garoppolo said to John Litch, and he's like, "Well, what'd you learn from Tom Brady?" Garoppolo said, Tom Brady said, being a quarterback in the NFL is not a job, it's a lifestyle.
Yep.
That's almost a mic drop moment.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're coming from a guy that wasn't highly touted out of college, was a 6th-round pick, and has been to, 8 Super Bowls? Tend to listen to that.
Well, I think no, I agree with that, but I think there's I think we're almost 10 minutes into the podcast now. We've talked nothing but Eagles and Brady, so I think it is time to move to
I was
Broncos
about to say,
news
we just
before
Good
turned
point,
into
we
a
good
lose
point.
sight of
Patriots podcast.
what we're about. Obviously, great game. Huge, holy crap contract by Jimmy G. Now, but that brings us to the point of the Broncos quarterback situation because, of course, there's been a lot of rumors of Kirk Cousins is going to sign with the Broncos and stuff like that. But that contract probably drove his price up pretty high.
Well,
So-
at least $28 million a year. At least. That's the least, is $28 million.
Well, the least that he could command, okay?
Well, yeah, because we don't know
The
what
least
the
that he
Jets
could
and
command.
Vikings-
Now, there's the idea. It's just like, he has openly stated that money is not. He's not necessarily trying to become the highest paid quarterback in the league. He's not necessarily trying to set records. He wants to win. He said winning's the most important thing. Now you can say he's saying that just because it's the good thing to say, or you can say that he actually means it and wants to win. But there's been news that's come out about the Jets willing to pay him literally anything that he wants. I'm still of the belief that even though that's the case, he's not going to want to sign with the Jets. I believe that there is at least some part of him that is truly wanting to win versus just get paid
I mean,
a
if
lot of
he
money.
signed with the Jets, I mean, he's got what, Robbie Anderson, who's probably not going to play next season because he beat women. He's not. Their number one wide receiver is a moron, and he beat women, so he's probably going to get cut from the NFL for at least a year. So you got to think there's only a couple places that he's really looking to go. It's going to be us, Cardinals, Vikings, and really that's the only place.
Jacksonville. There's been talk about Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville too, but I don't think they're ready to get away from as far
Bortles.
Bortles. He proved some stuff, so he's not that great of a quarterback, but.
And there was a report that came out. DJ Swearinger, who was current teammate of Kirk Cousins for the Redskins, safety for the Redskins. This probably means nothing. He probably doesn't have any insider information or anything, but he came out and said that he believes that he's going to sign with the Broncos because they have the great defense, and it looks like they're just a quarterback away from really competing. And of course, we can give Kirk Cousins a lot of money. We may not be willing to give him $28 million, and I hope that we're not willing to give him $28 million. But I do think that if he really does truly care about winning, that we're the best place for him to go and do it. So therefore, if he's like a Tom Brady who was willing to take a drastic pay cut and sign a pretty low-end extension based on his talent, pretty low-end extension so they still have money to spend elsewhere, then you'd think that Cousins, if he is truly about winning, that he would want to do that as well in a place like Denver that has a winning franchise that is, a franchise that just has a history of competing and being a great franchise, great place to play, and we already have a championship caliber defense with good receivers, good running back. Now all this stuff is, things can change because of the offseason releases, trades, things like that. But I don't know. What do you think, Kevin? Where are you at on this?
Oh my goodness. Well, early on, I was 100% in the Cousins camp and signing him. Now I'm vacillating a little bit because I really do believe that there's so many teams out there. You've mentioned a few: the Jets, Arizona, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Cleveland. There's a handful of others that could get involved in this, and it's going to be a bidding war. And I think ultimately he's going to make the decision that's best for him. I think there's some attractive teams out there: Minnesota, Denver, clearly. I mean, maybe even the Jets, because it's New York and it's a media capital, and who knows what else is going to go into his decision making. But I'm thinking now it just may be too expensive. If it's going to get up to 30, I'm thinking 30 million plus to tie it to the salary cap. It would just be insane.
Can't do it.
So
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
So now I'm sort of leaning towards the draft, and I think that we've got, in my mind, it appears to be, not just my mind, but most sort of the consensus is there's probably at least four bona fide high number one draft picks, first round draft picks out there: Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, in no particular order, Josh Allen, and then the guy out of USC, Sam Darnold. I think I said them all.
You already said
you
that.
said him already.
Rosen, Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen.
You guys know.
Yeah, that's out of UCLA.
Yeah, so
UCLA.
I tell you what, Josh Allen I've fallen in love with. I've just seen tape of that guy. Just the physicality is off the chart. Rocket arm, reminds me of a bigger.
Brock Osweiler,
maybe...
Paxton Lynch type, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Elway type, but probably even just as athletic as Elway. So he long-winded answer. I don't know. I just don't know. It's so
and that's kind of
difficult.
I think where we're all at. We don't really know.
And,
We're all
and,
speculation at this point.
and here's the thing with Josh Allen. Yeah, he's got the arm. The guy's got a cannon. He's got a cannon for an arm. But he doesn't have that much accuracy, and that's something you can't teach. You can't teach accuracy. That's what the big thing is with Josh Allen is you can't teach. I mean, he could throw the ball. You can throw the ball 80 yards, but if it just lands on the turf, I don't know. We're all like, oh, well, we should probably done our scouting report on that one. And that's where they say with like Baker Mayfield, they say, oh, this guy is got
accurate,
like a
right?
yeah, but the most of the stuff he uses is he'll do screen passes. Boom. I mean that drives up your percentage. I think the best quarterback in this draft is Josh Rosen. Even though the only reason Josh Rosen is not above Sam Darnold is because of his attitude, because he's already a rich kid. He's already a rich kid, so he said, "Oh, if I don't make it in football, I can do whatever else." With what's his name? With Baker Mayfield, that guy is about football. That's what everybody likes about him. The guy is like a Tim Tebow-ish kind of guy.
Real leader, right? Real fiery, kind of like Brett Favre.
He's a fiery guy. But the best, if you talk about tools, the best quarterback is Josh Rosen, but he has no leadership tools to go with him. Like the guy's like, hey, if I don't make it as a NFL quarterback, I don't really give a crap. So we're kind of stuck, and it sucks for what we're gonna do with the draft, because we can't just plug a quarterback in. Kirk Cousins, all the other guys that they want to say that, that we're in the, Nick Foles. Are you going to pay Nick Foles, $20 million? Are you going to pay Bridgewater $20 million? No, we're not going to pay any of those people $20 million just because they played pretty good during during the playoffs. So we're pretty much, it's either, honestly, I think it's either Kirk Cousins or we're in rebuild mode and watching one of the quarterbacks that we just talked about. Probably either I'd say Josh Rosen or Baker Mayfield.
Here's my take.
Okay.
So here's my take. So on Kirk Cousins, real quick. Kirk Cousins, again, yes, there could be a bidding war, but again, if he's truly about winning, we'll see that by the team that he chooses. If he makes it about a bidding war, then he's about the money. If he wants to win, then he's going to be about the destination, not just the money. He's going to get a lot of money no matter where he goes. So we'll see what he's truly about, because the potential for a bidding war is there. We'll see what he's truly about. Is he about the money or is he about winning? We'll know. Secondly, if we do decide that we're going to draft a quarterback first round and that's going to be our guy, then we may as well just cut everybody, because we are full rebuild mode at that point. You could cut Sanders, Thomas. I mean, you could cut everybody. There's no point in keeping them at that point, because we're not. Because if it gets to that point, we're not going to be championship. We're not going to be looking to get a championship. I mean, I'm tired of seeing, oh, this guy's a rocket arm athletic. Yeah, I saw that with Brock Osweiler. I saw that with Paxton Lynch. I'm done with that. I'm done trusting that as anything that's going to pay off in the short term at all. So if we go that route, then you may as well cut everybody and get a bunch of cap space.
That's why I said the only quarterback, if you're looking through the draft, the only quarterback that
I don't think Josh Rosen's gonna take us to a Super Bowl either. Honestly,
you don't think what?
I don't think Josh Rosen or anybody else is gonna take us to a Super Bowl.
But just remember, a couple of years.
Not right away.
A couple of
No,
years ago, Wentz took the Philadelphia Eagles to the Super Bowl in a heartbeat. Goff got him pretty close. Those are 2 first-round draft picks 2 years ago. The question is, and those guys didn't blow up the rosters. They just brought in a really good young quarterback. Question becomes, any of these guys we're talking about, are they Wentz or are they Goff? If they are, we could be in a Super Bowl in a couple of years.
But we have to trust John Elway's quarterback evaluation, which has been dreadful to this point.
Oh, it's horrible.
So
For a dude who was a quarterback, that's pretty.
Wait a minute, hold on,
frightening.
guys. He did he recognized Peyton Manning was pretty good. Let's give him credit for that.
Hi, claps all around.
Touche, my friends.
GM of
Touche.
the universe, because Peyton Manning. Who knew that Peyton Manning was a good quarterback?
I know.
Peyton Manning is and let's be clear, Peyton Manning is
weird.
the direct reason that every one of those other free agents signed with the Broncos. It wasn't because of John Elway.
No, it wasn't.
But Manning is there because of Elway, so it all links back to Elway.
Okay. Whatever excuse you got to make.
Elway is Jesus.
So,
Hey,
anyways,
8 Super Bowls.
let me finish what I'm
I'll
saying
take it.
here. Let me finish what I'm saying. You guys are going off on a tangent here.
Yeah, we went after you. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's
So
go, bro.
so then the last option is potentially getting a free agent quarterback or trading for a quarterback. And there's a number of options that, I mean, like Ian said, a Nick Foles or Bridgewater or Case Keenum or a Sam Bradford or whoever it may be. That to me is an option potentially in the short term, as long as you don't have to pay them a bunch of money. Because you see, I mean, Bradford went down with the Vikings very early on. Okay, Bradford went down with the Vikings very early on. Case Keenum played pretty much the entire season and playoffs, and was an MVP candidate under the right circumstances. Of course, when he's not in the right circumstances, he's not a guy like Manning or Brady who's going to elevate everything. He's a guy that if he's in the right system and the right circumstances, then he can play well. My view of our current roster is that's kind of what we need. Of course, it would be great to have a Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or an Aaron Rodgers or someone who can just completely elevate everybody on the team. But
Or
with a
Drew
championship
Brees.
caliber defense, hold on, let me finish. The championship caliber defense that, like the Vikings had, with arguably better receivers and better running game, because remember Dalvin Cook went down in like the 4th game or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
This would actually be a better situation as long as the coaching staff is intelligent enough to instill what he did well. Then this is actually a better circumstance for Case Keenum to succeed than the Vikings were. But that brings us to the coaching staff, which who knows if we can trust them at this point.
Oh, they're no.
So I think one of the, obviously Kirk Cousins, the idea of Kirk Cousins or a high draft pick, I think there is that middle tier of maybe getting a short-term quarterback to see if we can use the roster that we have to make a run. But I think the situation has to be right. The situation has to be perfect. The coaches have to be willing to use what they do well and put aside whatever preconceptions or whatever they want to do. Put that aside for the sake of finding what's best for that specific quarterback. So
yes, and sorry, you finished up, Austin?
No, go ahead. That's pretty much it. Go ahead.
All right. Listen, I feel like I've let the podcast fans down with my meandering mush of nothing there earlier on the QB situation. But
okay.
Let me just say that here's what I think is going to happen, and I want everyone listening to the podcast to write this down. The Broncos will sign Kirk Cousins, and they're going to bring him in on a team-friendly deal, because I believe Kirk Cousins has a lot of Peyton Manning in him, just in terms of mentality, work ethic, belief system, and he's going to go to where he thinks he's going to win long term, and he likes the community and he likes the franchise, etc. He's going to look at the big picture and look at things longer term. So I think the Broncos do sign him, which enables the Broncos then to use their number 5 pick in the first round to go after a position in need and maybe get in at just a remarkably good player to help in other areas, right? So I believe we're going to sign Cousins, and I do think ultimately that's going to be the right move for us.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. As you know, I don't want to pay him $30 million, but we'll see what happens. So has everyone kind of made their points and beliefs on the quarterback position? Because obviously that's the biggest one in the immediate. But have we all said what we need to say when it comes to the quarterback position?
Yes, and they're going to sign Kirk Cousins. If they do not, and I'm wrong, they're going to draft Josh Allen. Okay, I've said my piece.
Josh Allen. Okay. Ian,
Yes.
any last words?
I mean, if we do sign Kirk Cousins, I hope it's 28 and below, not we're talking about $29, $30 million a year.
I'm with you on that. I'm completely with you on that.
I'm thinking, all right, so we do, and we don't have to draft the quarterback. Who do we draft at the number 5 spot? Because that's a premium spot. Now, we can draft back. We can get 2 picks. That's the thing. We can get 2 picks. We can draft back.
Yeah.
The running back out of Penn State, that's who we get. That guy looks amazing.
What's his name again? I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Shaquan Barkley. It's Barkley.
Barkley, that's right. Barkley, yeah. No, I would totally be up for that if he falls to even the 5th pick.
No,
they're talking about a guy being top
I'm
3.
I'm telling you right now, Barkley's going to go either 1 or 4. He's going to the Browns. He's either going 1 or 4. The guy's going 1.
They went with Trent Richardson. You see how that paid off a few years ago.
Yeah, well, yeah, Trent Richardson was. Yeah, that's true. That sucked a
They
little
might
bit,
steer
but
clear of that.
That sucks. Yeah. But I guarantee they're going to draft the quarterback first. Probably Sam Darnold. And I guarantee with the 4th pick, unless they could trade out, because I think they're going to go. They're going to go with the running back. And I think if we do get Kirk Cousins, we gotta go offensive tackle. Have to.
Yeah. I think
Barkley
for me,
ain't gonna be. Barkley's not gonna be there at 5. He's not gonna.
I don't think so.
If he's
I think
there
for
at
me,
5,
go ahead.
I'll say this: if Barkley's there at 5 and we didn't sign a quarterback, you still pick Barkley. He's just not gonna be there. That's an Ezekiel Elliott kind of guy, dude.
Yeah, no, he's
he's
a
not,
freak.
like Ezekiel Elliott, doing the garbage that he does, but
okay.
talent.
So
go ahead.
my thought on the
Austin.
draft. My thought of the draft is, there's a quarterback that very few people talk about that we could trade back in the first round and still potentially pick up.
You talk about the guy from Washington State.
No, Oklahoma State, Mason Rudolph. Now, the knock on this guy, the knock on him is that he doesn't possess a rocket arm. But we've took our chances on rocket arms before, and it has failed miserably. This guy, his strengths are that he moves naturally in the pocket, which we definitely need with our offensive line, and he's able to read the entire field and has great football IQ. That's what I want. If we're going to take a first-round quarterback, I want a guy with football intelligence, accuracy, and can move in the pocket. That's where I'm at, because you look at Peyton Manning's, you look at Tom Brady's, that's what they do. They move in the pocket, and they read the field and use football intelligence. Not rocket arms. That's
I want
where I'm
rocket
at.
arm.
So,
I don't care about anything else. Go ahead.
so
I'd
So
say,
there's that.
I'd say if
So
we're
there's
not
that.
taking a quarterback in the first round, say we're taking a quarterback in the second round, we got.
Well, I'm
Luke
just saying,
Falks,
if
we got
Go ahead.
Mason Rudolph,
Mhm.
and we got Lamar Jackson, who is the right-handed version of Michael Vick.
yeah, essentially,
He's the most I'd say if we don't take a quarter, I would rather have Lamar Jackson or Luke Fultz.
But again,
Ahead.
Lamar Jackson is the athleticism and the running ability.
Oh,
He's
no,
a
no,
wide
he-
receiver.
Oh
But
no,
that's
he's
not-
he's just like I mean he could be just like the wide receiver now for the
New England.
not New England Redskins what's his name?
Tyrod Taylor.
No, not Tyrod Taylor. He's still
Not Tyrod Taylor. Oh
Not
wow, I
what?
know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Pryor, Terrell Pryor.
Yeah, Terrell Pryor.
Terrell Pryor.
6'5", got crazy ability, but I don't know. I mean, Lamar Jackson, even what's his name? Mike Vick said he's the the right-handed version of me.
Yeah.
Well,
No, he's. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him, but and that's I wouldn't be mad about taking him, but I'm of the camp that if I'm going to draft a quarterback high, I want a guy who pocket presence, football IQ.
oh yeah, you don't
And
take
can
him in
read
the
the
first
field.
round.
That's
Now,
where
I'm
I'm
talking
at.
about 2 and 3. I'm talking about if something happens where we get Kirk Cousins and then we take
Oh,
Quentin
yeah.
at
I hear you.
5 and then go back and we possibly draft a quarterback at the second round.
Yeah. So other
I'm saying
options.
Luke Fultz, Jackson are probably the best with Rudolph too.
Yeah, I like Rudolph a lot. Okay, so other options at the number 5 pick if we choose not to move back. Of course, we need help on our offensive line. So you could get a guy like the guard,
Quentin.
Quentin Nelson from Notre Dame, because we
that
need a
guy
left
is
guard.
a monster.
He's a freak, and he's ridiculous in the running game while still being good in the pass protection.
Yep.
Or
I like him.
Orlando Brown from Oklahoma, who would slide into the right tackle spot pretty much immediately, because obviously our right tackle spot has been a thing of issues
Or
for
if you
years now.
trade back and get like a.
Well, I was saying if
15th
we
pick,
don't trade back. Now, hold on.
Fernandez.
Let's hold up before we can look in the trading back scenarios as well. But I'm kind of looking at if we stay put at number
At
5.
At 5.
Those guys. But then I think other things that come into play are if Aqib Talib's gone, then you could go after the cornerback from Alabama, Minka Fitzpatrick, whatever his name
Well,
is.
he would be the 5th pick.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is people are not sure whether he's a safety or a cornerback or whatever. The point is he's a great defensive back, and
Defender,
that's what
yeah.
we need. And he could be that third guy if Aqib Talib is gone. He could be that third guy behind Roby and Chris Harris. And the last player that I'm going to mention right now is because we need a third or potentially second, depending on what happens. We need a third wide receiver.
I know who you're going with. I know it.
Cortland Sutton.
I thought
From
you were going to
SMU.
go with Gallup, bro.
No, Cortland Sutton, and the reason why is because he's kind of like Demaryius Thomas in the sense that he's 6'4", 220 plus pounds, and
Yeah.
he's got a lot of agility for his size. He's got a lot of quickness for his size, so he's going to be in and out of his breaks really quick when it comes to, a guy his size. So those are the guys that I thinking about if we go with the number 5 pick other than a quarterback, because we already talked
Well,
about
no.
quarterback.
Sutton's going to go way back. He's going to go way back. Sutton's not going to get picked in the first 5. No. I don't think so.
He's rated as a top 10, so
In the top 10, it was like him, the cat from Alabama, I forget his name, and then they got Gallup from Colorado State.
Yeah.
Top 3 wide receivers. I would take Gallup, not just because he's from Colorado. I wouldn't take him at 5 though. It's hard picking wide receivers in the first round. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Just ask.
It is
Roy
hard.
Williams. Just
It is
ask
hard, but
Roy
we also took
Williams.
Demarius Thomas, which is the last guy we took in the first round at wide receiver. That has paid off.
Oh yeah. Oh, he took homeboy at second round. What was it? Latimer.
Eric Decker was third.
Yeah, Eric Decker.
Latimer.
Yeah, Latimer.
Oh, Latimer in
that
the
guy.
second round. Yeah, that was a nightmare.
That was second round 2014, but he's become a guy that I respect.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully he can continue it because he did play better.
I just
in the
wish he
second
caught
half.
balls. And I know he, I know he tackles people in special teams. I just wish he caught balls. That's what he did at Indiana, right? Wasn't he?
He doesn't drop balls, but he's got good hands. But there's something missing with that guy, and I think it's in between his ears. I don't know.
He struggles getting
clearly
open.
Maybe route
It
running
has
or
to be
what have you.
between
But
his ears.
hey, I just have to throw this name out on quarterbacks.
Yeah.
We somehow failed to mention Chad Kelly, guys. I still like that
All right,
pick from last year.
Yep.
He could be. I mean, he's an extreme dark horse, but he lit it
But
up
so
in
was
the
Simeon last
SEC. Lit it up in the SEC against great defenses, and he fell all the way to seventh because of some character concerns. But his uncle stuck his neck out for him. None other than Hall
Chad
of Famer.
Kelly's good. Yeah, I like Chad Kelly.
Let's see what he brings
was on
to camp.
Netflix.
Oh, really?
Just wish he'd stop telling people he's gonna shoot up the entire bar.
That's true. Okay, so draft is going to be crazy. We can agree on that. But there's some decisions that the Broncos need to make before the draft even happens. There's a lot of guys that we need to make decisions on. So, like, for instance, there's been a rumor going on recently that maybe they've kind of shifted their gear and they're going to keep both Thomas and Sanders.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard. I hope that it's true. I think Thomas is probably of the two the one who would be more likely, more willing to take a pay cut versus Sanders. But if we can maintain keeping both of them,
It would be good.
that would obviously be more attractive for a guy like Cousins. Because a decision is going to have to be made on those two players before free agency even hits. So
Gotta get a
Cousins
tight
will
end.
know if they're there or not by the time that he is actually a free agent. But what do you guys think about
Jake
Akeem Talib?
Butt is around. We need a tight end. Cousins loves tight ends.
That's true. That's true. But what do you guys
Yeah, loves
think
tight
about
ends.
Talib? Akeem Talib. Should we keep him?
Yeah, you keep him. Even though the only reason why if you drop him, it's $1 million. That's it. That's all. If you drop him, it's only $1 million. It's not a big deal. I say because he's playing the best football in his entire life right now.
Mm-hmm.
He is a top cornerback right now. Not. I say we keep him. Because
Kevin?
you can put
Oh,
Bradley Roby in there right now.
No. Well, I agree with that.
What's the cap hit if we let him go? $1 million?
$1 million.
That's it?
$1 million if we drop him right now. $1 million.
Well,
cap
listen.
hit.
If we go after Cousins, he's going to be. Oh, it's only $1 million, but we're going to have to
I
find
don't
some
know.
money to
Is
sign
that? Are you
Cousins.
sure that's true?
Yeah, it's $1 million, dude.
I don't think so
$1
because
million.
he's scheduled to make $12 million next year.
No, the cap hit. No, it doesn't matter what he's supposed to get paid for. The cap hit is $1 million. So if they cut him right now, they save themselves all that money. It's just a cap hit thing.
All right, here's what I think they should do with Talib. I think they ought to trade him. They have him under contract for 2 more years. He's 32 years old. He's on the
There's
wrong
only two
side of
teams
30.
gonna trade for him.
but I think they try to move him. He's got an expensive contract, and we already have young, talented contracts under contract. Chris Harris, of course, Bradley Roby. Both of those guys are making what, 8, 9, 10 million each.
Yeah.
So I think we let. Hopefully, we can get a draft pick for him. I would try to trade him. He's 32. Time to move on.
Ian,
I try to keep him.
Ian, you're incorrect. There's only $1 million of dead money if they cut him.
Oh, it's $1 million dead money. Okay.
Meaning they would save $11 million for cutting him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why if they're only saving $1 million, I don't think there's a chance they would cut him. But it's only a $1 million cap hit if they do cut him.
That's what I was saying.
It's $12 million cap hit if they keep him, $1 million cap hit if they don't keep him.
Yeah, that's why he probably will be gone.
Yeah, but
probably.
I think the first things first. I think the best thing to do. And because he may balk at this, and that's fine if he does. I think the best thing to do is to at least attempt to get him to restructure, because he is a top tier cornerback right now.
Still,
and we want to win now, not 3 years from now. So his age, though it's something to think about, his age is not the biggest worry to me because he is still playing right now as a top cornerback.
Oh,
and we want to win right now.
I literally never wanted Aqib Talib out. I thought he was the best cornerback probably of last year. Even being he's going to be 32 years old. The guy, he's already generated options for the teams he was with before the Patriots and the Buccaneers.
By the way, he's probably a Hall of Fame corner. If he retired now, don't you think he's Hall of Fame?
He's definitely a Hall of Fame corner. The guy's definitely dude. He's one of the best corners to ever play the game. Even though he's retarded.
A true shutdown. True shutdown.
Even though he shot himself
who can tackle.
in the leg.
Yeah.
Even though he shot himself in the leg, the guy is a true shutdown corner. He's a Deion Sanders minus being able to return the ball. I would retain him this year.
And here's the thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go. You go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Talib is still at the top of his game, even though, like you said, Kevin, he is on the wrong side of 30. So it's probably not too far off that he'll start dropping in ability at some point, Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: he is $12 million this year, which is pretty good cap hit. But after this year, his cap hit drops to $8 million. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I think it's $5 million or something like that.
But it's a moot point. It's a moot point. If we sign Cousins, you got to believe Talib's gone. I mean, that's how they're going to help pay for Cousins.
Yeah, unless they restructure, I think you're right. Unless they restructure, you're probably right in that. But I don't think it's a moot point, because if you can swallow that pill of $12 million the first year, you immediately fall into a bargain. If you can, anyone under $10 million for his talent level is an absolute bargain, especially at the cornerback position. That is a bargain in today's NFL.
True.
That's just flat out.
Then it'll be 33, though, right? By the way, Austin, you're on the wrong side of 30 also.
What?
Because Talib's on the wrong side of 30. You're on the wrong side of 30 because in podcasting you want to be over 30.
Oh God!
Am I right? Am I right?
Here we are.
Like me and Kevin and I.
Yes.
So because I'm 26, I hold no my nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
Well, it's kind of weird that you guys have me host it then.
I know. That's how sad we are.
Oh God, that's funny. So I think an argument can be made either way. An argument can be made if you're going to get Cousins, you're probably going to have to free up that cap space, unless he's willing to restructure pretty heavily and take a pretty decent pay cut. Otherwise, he's probably just going to get cut, released. But if you don't get Cousins, then you're not going to be paying. You're probably not going to be paying a ridiculous amount for the quarterback position. So you could keep him, swallow the $12 million pill this year, and then you get a bargain going into next year. Um, and that's even if his playtime decreases a little bit in favor of Bradley Roby. It's still a bargain.
We could probably bring T.J. Ward back.
He did not have a good season in Tampa Bay, did he?
No, he couldn't.
No, and he was busted for drugs. I don't think.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
What, T.J. Ward?
Felony. Yeah, felony drug charges. This guy.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah. Once you're with.
And by the way, don't you believe that maybe Elway, the Broncos, maybe knew that there was something going on with him with drugs that may have factored into the release?
I mean, he only started like 6 games with Tampa Bay, so I mean, I know it. And this is the thing.
He's 31.
Really,
He's also wrong sider. Wrong sider.
This is the thing that irritates me with the Denver Broncos, is we got these cats, whatever they want to be called. They all get pissed off. You let T.J. Ward go. Yeah, we let you go because he sucked. He wasn't as good as Simmons, maybe. Whatever. Maybe we saw.
Yeah, but at the same time, Darian Stewart switched to strong safety and did not have a very good year. And there's the idea of, because we have Will Parks and Jamal Carter, that he may be gone at $4.5 million. Do you think he's worth hanging on to, or should we try to get the young guys like Will Parks and Jamal Carter in there?
Hey, Austin, I'm gonna let my partner address that one, Ian. Okay. I'm gonna have to jump off, guys. But it's been a good podcast. Been too long, of course. Looking forward to getting again. I think we have a few more off-season podcasts in us.
Of course,
going to be happening.
Free agent and draft.
That's right. So to all of our podcast listeners, thank you. Thank you for your loyalty, and you guys wrap it up. We'll catch you later.
All right, Kevin. We're not gonna be on here much longer, so I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. See you guys.
All right. So Ian, like I said, Darian Stewart, $4.5 million salary, 2018. Is it worth it to hang on to him, or do we cut him, save that money, and go with Will Parks or Jamal Carter?
Honestly, I'd say cut him, save the money, go with Will Parks. Honestly, that's just honestly.
Yeah, this one's a little hard for me because
it's difficult.
Stewart, he did have one rough year, but that rough year also coincided with a lot of players having rough years for the entire team.
Oh, I know.
So, $4.5 million is not bad for a safety of the quality that he has been up till last year.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
But I can see them going either way. Okay, so I'm going to say keep him. That's my decision. Keep him. But
I'm not gonna
can understand either way. Last guy I'm going to talk about here, in terms of guys that are potentially on the chopping block or whatever.
Right.
And, we have to make decisions on them before March 18th. $5 million for Brandon Marshall. 2018, fully guaranteed March 18th. The talk has been that because Todd Davis is an unrestricted free agent, they're going to let Davis shop the open market, and they're going to hang on to Brandon Marshall. Do you think that's the right decision?
I think so.
Yeah, Todd Davis had a better year this year, but Brandon Marshall has historically been the better of the two.
Yeah, I think I go with Brandon Marshall, but you got to think Brandon Marshall is going to be more money.
Well, potentially. Like I said, Todd Davis is going on the open market right now, so
yeah,
that there could be a bidding war. I mean, not necessarily there'd be a drastic bidding war like Kirk Cousins, but there could be a bidding war that drives his price up a little bit.
Oh,
So
it's
I
not
mean,
gonna be crazy
I
like
think
that.
I think you're right. I think Brandon Marshall, because he's historically been the better of the two, he's probably the guy to hang on to, and he's more of a playmaker. Todd Davis,
Right.
he like this past year he got a lot of tackles, things like that, but didn't really make a lot of like stuck out to you type plays, you know.
Exactly.
So Todd
Exactly.
Davis is good. He's definitely a good addition to any team, but not a guy who really sticks out and makes a lot of game changing plays. Um, so anyways, obviously we got big stuff coming up here next month because March free agency is going to start, and then following that, the
April is gonna
draft.
be the draft.
The draft is going to be crazy. I can't wait for the draft. I can't wait for free agency to see what actually happens with quarterbacks and some of these guys that we've been talking
Well,
about.
like you said, March 18th is when
Free
the
agency starts.
free agency starts. That's when we can start talking about draft and uh, hopefully not AJ McCarron, but
I hope that we do not spend money on AJ McCarron.
he's. I mean, he never beat. Dude never beat out
Andy Dalton, and Andy Dalton's
Andy
not
Dalton.
fantastic.
Yeah, he's not the greatest quarterback on the planet. So
No.
I
And AJ
hoping.
McCarron, it's like they're talking about him getting this huge deal, and there's not nearly enough to show it. There's not nearly enough to. There's less to show for him than for Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's been in the league longer.
That's true.
It's just, I think it's just dim-witted for them to be, for anyone to be considering giving him
Oh,
a
it
big
is.
contract.
It's super stupid. It's super dumb.
So,
It's
anyways,
super
we're gonna
dumb.
go ahead and close this up. It's
Of
obviously
course.
been fun. It's been too long.
Ah,
We got to do it. We got to make sure we keep up on it. Next month we'll be talking free agency,
and
things like
draft.
that, and then we'll obviously in response to some of the things that happened in free agency, we
Mhm.
might get a clearer picture of what might happen in the draft. So
Oh yeah,
we'll talk
definitely.
about that as well. So um, from Ian, from Kevin, from myself, thank you for listening, and we'll stay more on top of this. We'll see you at dbronxpodcast.com.
Yep.
Have a good rest of your day.